Hey everybody, it's Pastor John with your Midweek Moment for this week. And I am joined here by Jesse Ofgang. Jesse is our technical person, has been, I suppose, since February now. And most of the time he's on the other side of the camera filming the Midweek Moments. But I had a meeting. I think it was Prudential or Deacons or somebody, and I was talking about Jesse, and they said, you know, we have no idea who Jesse is. Maybe you should do a Midweek Moment where you introduce Jesse to everybody. And I thought, well, that's a good idea. So here we are. What I thought we would do is do a little interview by way of introduction. And then Jesse, who is a musician, is going to share some music with us at the end of the Midweek Moment. So, Jesse, welcome to the First Congregational Church of Kent.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for having me so far. I've loved being here. I know this is the first introduction, so I really have only spent time with John, Bethany, and John Paul, but it's good to be a part of the community.
Yes, well, great. Well, we're glad to have you. So I thought what we'd do is for the interview part, we'd start off with the really simple questions first, where are you from?
I was born and raised in New Fairfield, Connecticut. I made the big move after college up to Kent, 30 minutes north. Lived in Kent for 6 years. Now I live in Wallingford, and in between that, I lived in Scotland for a year.
Yes, and what were you doing for the year that you were in Scotland?
I was getting my master's in bagpipes at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland.
Yes, very good.
And yes, you can get your master's in bagpipes.
Yes. In fact, I guess in all sorts of Celtic music.
Yeah. So it's a Master's of Arts in Scottish music with a focus on bagpipes, but my specialty in music is Scottish and Irish music, or Celtic music would be the umbrella term we use.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I studied, and my undergraduate degree is in jazz drum set. So I'm the most employable person on the planet.
Yes, percussion and Scottish music. Yeah. Nevertheless, though, you actually earn your living as a musician because, well, partly, I guess, because in addition to being our technical person, you are also...
I'm the music director at the First Congregational Church in Washington, Connecticut, so I'm playing the organ there every Sunday, doing the tech work with them there, and directing the choir for that congregation.
Yes. So it's organ and keyboards in addition to percussion and Scottish music. Yes.
I like to make noise.
There you go. So I guess in one way or another, Jesse and I were fated to work together because actually when I was on my job search, one of the places I interviewed was actually at the church in Washington. So like I said, I guess one way or another, Jesse and I were just fated to work together. So you did your master's in music at the Royal Conservatoire in Scotland, which is in
Glasgow. It's in Glasgow.
Okay.
Close to Edinburgh.
Okay. But your undergrad was from?
Western Connecticut State University. I was in the jazz department for drum set. Bagpipes had always been a big part of my life, but at the time I didn't know I could go to school for bagpipes. So I was like, what's the next best thing? So it was jazz drum set.
Okay, all right. And how did you get started playing the bagpipes? I mean, I can see where kids would pick up piano or guitar or drums because they see people playing those things all the time. But how did you get started with the bagpipes?
It wasn't my idea. There was a rule in my household growing up. Everybody had to play an instrument. I failed on it. Well, not failed. I started with piano. I didn't love that as a 6-year-old. Then my parents tried to get me to play violin. The last lesson, the teacher pulled up. I climbed up into a tree and wouldn't come down. So they gave up for a little bit. And then my mother brought me a practice changer, is what you start bagpipes on. And I just got extremely lucky that the person she called for lessons was this 79-year-old Scottish man from just outside Glasgow. The most amazing teacher I've ever had. Really changed the trajectory of my life. If not for him, I'd probably be a doctor instead of having my master's in bagpipes.
All right. And you mentioned that your house is in Wallingford, but you're here part of the time because in addition to working in Washington and in addition to working here, you also work at...
I teach music at the Marvelwood School. So I'm there 3 days a week and sometimes more. But I taught there initially out of college, left, and then I'm just drawn back to Kent.
All right. And you teach music, and what else at Marblewood?
So at Marblewood, I teach general music, and then the ensembles that we have. If there's a choir, we'll be doing that, a percussion ensemble or a rock band. Everything has been a little bit crazy, as we all know. It's mostly what we can do safely. Mm-hmm. So last year, the choir had to be all virtual, which has helped with all the technology aspect of my job, like learning that. But the ensembles are based on what we can do safely. So hopefully choir this year.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, we think the same thing. Hopefully choir this year at some point. All right. Well, very good. And I should say it's actually the Marblewood connection that brought Jesse to us, because when Jen Morris, who was our original technical person, left, we sort of sent out just a general cry for help. We asked if anybody knew anybody who did this sort of thing. And Alicia Winter, who runs the gardens at Marblewood, knew Jesse and said, well, why don't you talk to him? So we did, and now here he is. So is there anything else that you'd like the folks out there in internet land to know about you?
Well, I hope to meet all of you at some point when the schedules align, but I feel like, I play bagpipes, assortment of bagpipes, so you'll hear me play a few different instruments after this, but I play the Highland bagpipes, but also the Irish uilleann pipes, which, as you'll see, are a little bit different.
Okay, and that's what you've got inside the case, right?
Yes. They can't see the case. Our feet right here. But.
Well, for those of you who can't see, there's a case right here, and it's got pipes in it, and I thought they were bagpipes. I should have known better, because I'd imagine a bagpipe case is bigger. But these are actually uilleann pipes, which are I guess are Irish.
Yeah, they're more associated with Ireland, and you don't blow into them. You pump them with a bellows system.
All right. Okay. Well, why don't you break the pipes out and then maybe favor us with a tune?
Sounds good.